fat bikes use like a 100mm bottom bracket instead of the regular kind of 68mm one. And I don't have any bar stock the right size to drill and tap a bottom bracket right now. So I'm going to use a little trick that I've done before to get myself out of trouble. I'm going to turn 2 bottom brackets into one. And that might sound a little dodgy, but by the time you see the end of it, they will never know. Okay, so I've cut and faced these and prepared them for, you guessed it, welding them up. There's a couple of important things that I've done here which turn this into something that could be quite dodgy into something that's really quite acceptable. The first is I've obviously faced the edge to make sure it's completely flat. And the second is, if you see, I've just carefully chamfered that edge. Now if you look at when I put the two together, I get that nice little recess there. That's where the weld's going to sit, so when we grind it back down flat, all the strength is still within it. Now let's go in. This is my jig. It's a piece of aluminium angle. So when I drop both of those in, you can see that it's sitting perfectly straight. We're going to zap this up now. Voila. No one will ever know. Unless you tell them. And I'll know it was you if you do. So don't tell them. So I'm going for a real kind of cruiser, slack head tube, relaxed pedaling kind of position, cruiser field with this build. And because you're sitting so far back onto the saddle, I didn't think like the regular bike saddle was going to cut it. And I've had these tractor seat sort of things lying around work for a while now. And I kind of figured do something with this. So what I've done is I've refinished this. You can see this is the remnants of where I've really taken all the paint and everything back off it. And I've made this mould out. Now this mould will be the basis for me to make something a little bit nicer for the bike than the plastic seat beside. Paint the fence. Long strokes. Wax on, wax off. So, those of you who haven't seen one, this is a frame building jig. This is a jig that I built a few years ago and regularly use for building my favourite mountain bike geometries. So this is where the head tube goes, that's where the bottom bracket goes, that's where the rear axle goes, and that's where the seat tube locates. And you can see there's a whole range of adjustments, so I can dial in everything and I can get it all nice and straight. Now I'm not going to be using this in this build. I've read about a method that uses a series of straight tubes, which was invented by the chopper guys, and I've never built a bike this way. It's a jig-free way to build a bicycle, which I thought was kind of fitting for a handmade bicycle show. So next episode, I'm going to try and map it out and see if it looks good for this build. If you are interested in my stuff or tri-sled stuff in general, please check out trisled.com.au/custom for, I guess, some of our latest custom builds and also a history of some of our builds. See you next episode.